Welcome home. There's a couple different ways that you can make vegan pancakes, but if you really want to nail the texture, this is the way to go. So we're going to start off with some flour, and we want half and 1 cup. And if you want any of the measurements and stuff written up, then I'm gonna have it in my cookbook, so the link to that will be down in the description. Boom. Right, so we've got 1.5 cups of flour. Now we're gonna obviously start with the dry ingredients, and here we're gonna do about half a cup, not a cup, half a teaspoon of salt, and we're gonna grab some baking soda. I'm excited for pancakes for breakfast. It's a lovely way to start the day. And a 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda as well. So that is all of our dry ingredients in there. Let's just give them a little mix up to get them all combined nicely. And the amount of pancakes I'm making should probably be around 8 to 12 pancakes, depending on the size of your pan and how thick you make them and everything. So this is a good amount for a couple breakfasts. So I'm just gonna actually make 1 batch now, and then I can put the other half in the fridge, and that'll be good to go quickly another morning. So we've got this stuff, which is aquafaba. This is our secret to replace the egg. And this stuff's magic. It's actually just from 1 can of chickpeas, and it usually works out pretty good as about half a cup. Yeah, look at that. Wow, I hadn't measured that. That's just exactly the amount that was in the can of chickpeas. So we'll pop that in. And while we've got this in our hand, we're gonna pop in half a cup of soy milk. And we are going to add a little bit more soy milk in a sec, but it's best to get out the lumps if you don't add it all at once. And then we're going to add a little bit of oil in there. It's just going to add 2 tablespoons. Boom. And now we're just going to give it a good old mix. And this is like the attachment from an electric blender thing. So it's not really a proper whisk, but it does the job. And it's best not to actually use an electric one, because you might over whisk everything and that's gonna damage the texture. So really what we wanna do is just get to the point where we've removed all of the lumps, but we don't wanna go past that stage. Yeah, before, when I was trying doing this recipe, I added the milk all together, and it took so long to get the lumps out. So this is definitely a lot easier to do it this way. That's as good as we need to do. And now we're gonna add another cup in. And I think maybe a little bit more, because it's more like 1 3/4 cups is probably a good amount of milk, so just add a little extra dash in there. All right, nice. It's all homogenized now, and we've got this pretty thin batter, which is just what we want. So I'm gonna put this to the side and leave it for about 10 minutes or so. While that's doing its thing, I'm just gonna have a little clear up and get ready for the actual cooking. Okay, now let's turn our pan on to a medium-high heat, and we really want to wait for that to get real nice and hot. Also, let's cut up some lemon, because it goes so nicely with pancakes. It really is the way to go. And yeah, this is my my knife sheath I made, because there wasn't anything ready to put the knife. I didn't want to have it loose. So yeah, quite proud of it. Just goes in there. And then found a little fridge magnet that opens it up. Anyway, let's go. We'll just do this in half. Can do a couple of wedges. Lovely. Okay, so now the pan is actually starting to smoke a little bit, which is just what you want. You want it super, super hot. With a non-stick pan, you can probably get away with no oil or very little oil, but I like a decent amount. I put about that much usually. There's probably like a couple teaspoons maybe. That's just because I like how it goes super crispy on the outsides when you do it like this, and then you've still got like the soft center. Otherwise it's just a bit more dry on the outside. Try and get the oil so it's as spread out as possible. For my size pan, a bit less than half a cup works well. So we're just going to quickly stick that in the middle, lift it up, and we quickly want to move it around to try and get all of the batter covering the bottom of the pan. Now, notoriously, the first pancake is usually the worst, but let's see how it does. I think maybe a little bit more pancake batter would have been good. You can see it took a while for it to get right to the edges, and we've got a few little holes in the batter as well. It's still going to taste good, but I think I might add a little bit more next time. So yeah, first off, what we're wanting to do is just wait till you can actually pick it up a little bit as it gets harder. And I mean, often it might be maybe like a minute or so, sometimes 30 seconds, sometimes a bit longer than a minute on the first side. It just depends on your pan really. So don't go by a specific amount of time, just keep an eye on it, and you can kind of lift up the corner, have a little peek, and if it's starting to get nice and brown on there, then that's all good. Cool. I think it's almost there. So before we flip it, which is my favorite part, then you want to just make sure we're loosening the bottom. So shift it around like this, and then cool. Now you got the movement. Get ready for the flick of the wrist. Boom, there we go. Successful pancake flip. And yeah, you see these little holes. I did put quite a lot of oil in this time, to be honest. I usually put a little bit less than that, but you see these holes and then the crispy bits, that's because of the oil. And if you look at these bits where like there's tiny little holes, that's more what it will look like if you don't use so much oil. Oh, it smells so good as well. So yeah, the second side of the pancake should cook a fair bit quicker than the first side because it's already partially cooked and it's all heated up a lot as well. Let's have a little peek. Oh yeah, that side's looking good as well. So we're gonna remove it from the pan, stick it down there, and we've got another 10 or so pancakes in there, but I like to add, that's quite a lot of sugar, but you know what, we're going in and squeeze some of that lemon juice over. Honestly, some sugar and lemon juice, that really is the best way to go with this. Then it's gonna still be pretty hot, but let's try this bit here. So we've got the crispiness, which I like from the extra oil, and then this really nice soft center inside. Oh my God, that is incredible. So have fun with these pancakes. You can store the batter in the fridge for like, 3-4 days, something like that, maybe 5 days. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you make some of these pancakes yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.